and welcome back to my show. In today's episode, I have a great special guest with me today. Her name is Saathya Achia. Hi, Saathya, how are you today?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm doing well.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking out the time to be on the show today. So please introduce yourself and maybe give a brief synopsis of your latest book.
Sure. My name is Saathya Achia, and I am a creative writer. I write stories for picture book, middle grade, and young adult audiences. And my debut novel is called In My Hands, and that came out in 2022. It is a YA fantasy adventure novel. I think of the novel as a mashup of Tomb Raider meets Wonder Woman meets South Asian folklore. And it's about an Indian American teen who must travel to the jungles of India to find her inner warrior, uncover family secrets, and slay mythical beasts. And if she doesn't get all of that done, she may lose her ancestral home and everyone she loves. I like to think of it as ideal for readers who were once fans of Percy Jackson or the Aru Shah series in middle school, and they're looking for a comparable young adult read.
Yeah, I think that's a very beautiful, idea and plot. I think anyone out there who wants to express or learn more about, the Indian folklore, I think it'd be great to read this book. It's also, as she said, it's perfect for readers who like Percy Jackson and like diverse reads. And there's also very good YA books. Even if you're not in the YA range and you would like to try reading it, please do, but do ask your parents before you do so. So my next question for you is, do you listen to music while writing? If yes, what kind of music do you listen to?
Sure. I do believe that music definitely inspires me when I'm writing. When I'm right in the process, I usually will listen to instrumental music, and it'll depend on what it is I'm writing. So for example, for when I was putting together In My Hands, I ended up listening to a lot of South Asian music that was tabla based, which tabla is the type of drum, just because my main character, she's a dancer. She's learning traditional folk dance from her mother, and so that music is heavily based on the listening of this tabla. So I listened to a lot of instrumental at that time. But for some of my other work, I'll definitely I've created playlists of some of my favorite artists and just how their music inspires, and I include that when I'm going through and writing something.
I think I agree as well. For me as well, when I'm writing or editing or doing any sort of thing that's creative, I try to make sure the music is on. I prefer songs with lyrics. Even for I was writing for Portrait Fantasy, and for that I listened to a lot of music or songs by Leonie and Sierra and Alex, and I think their music really inspires me to understand and think more, especially since world building kind of comes from your imagination. And I think music is a great way to kind of cultivate your mind, open it up to new ideas. And as you said, learn, it helps you also learn different kinds of ways to incorporate that music into your writing.
Absolutely.
And I just love the way you explained that. I think just how music and writing and all things creative kind of just mash together and become one. Some people like to dance first or watch something to understand how to write something, or some people listen to music, some people do some brainstorming. Everyone has a different process, and I think it's really cool to know that there are different processes and different types of ways to get a similar product. I could be writing the same story as you, but our stories could be very different.
Absolutely. I agree. I agree. It is. It's really amazing how that works.
Yeah. My next question for you is, um, what was your querying process like? I know you are agented, so what was your querying process like to get like your agent and start working with them to get your book out to readers?
Sure. Well, I'm actually not agented. I did go through the querying process, and I had it was a long process. It took I mean, almost 10 years, I think. But I ended up finding, I did a Twitter contest, and I had a lot of interest from agents, editors, and some smaller publishing houses. And I had several requests that were for a full manuscript, and it was indeed a very, very exciting time. I had received a lot of wonderful feedback from different agents, editors, and these smaller presses. And in the end, while I didn't receive an agent, I received an offer from a small publishing house. And once I got to talking with them and understanding their process and what was going to be involved, they were very welcoming. They were amazing to work with. My publisher is Ravens and Roses Press, and it's just been a wonderful team to work with.
Yeah, I think it's like like the querying process, it's like a tough time. It's exciting yet also kind of like demotivating at times too, depending on rejections and acceptance. I think it's part of the whole process. You kind of have to just kind of go in knowing that there are two ways to the coin. You could either fail or you could even pass or both. Like I know so many authors, so many people who have gone through this and have had many exceptions and many rejections. Like it's like all part of the process.
Of course, yes. And it's definitely a difficult process. It's definitely hard to stay positive when you're getting those rejections. But I think, in my case, I think I had this dream. I just couldn't let go of it. And I kept hoping somebody would fall in love with the characters I created as much as I had. So I feel very fortunate and thankful for the opportunities that I've found and had, and definitely the writing community. I think that's one of the places where I've felt most at home and supported, and just a great deal of camaraderie among the fellow writers. And again, going through a process like querying, going through a process of developing a novel or a picture book or what have you, it's just great to have those like-minded folks along for that journey with you, because they really understand it. They know what you're going through because they're in the trenches with you, going through the same much of the same experiences. So
I totally agree with you. I think it's just important to have that kind of community behind you, so that when you fail, you have someone to help you out. If you pass, then you have someone to celebrate with. I think it's just like having that whole family or whole community of people really pushes you and helps you as an author, writer, illustrator, or whatever thing you're doing.
absolutely.
So my last and final question for you is, this is a fun one actually. If your book became a movie, who would you cast?
Ooh, so this is a tricky one. I think every author has that dream that their book is going to become a movie. So in my hands, Chandra Chengapa is she's a strong-willed, fierce young woman, and she's coming into her own, trying to find that magic. And actually, a Desi actress that I think would be fun in the role of Chandra would be Avantika Vandanapu. I've seen her in a couple different movies. She hasn't necessarily been a lead character, but I feel like she's got Chandra energy. So I'd love to see her cast as Chandra. As for some of the supporting actors, actresses, I don't have answers for those as of yet, but definitely would love to see this lush jungle adventure come to life on the big screen.
Yeah, it's always like a dream. I mean, even for me, like my book, I'm done with it. I'm in editing phases right now, getting it ready for agents and things. And I think for me as well, even though it's not even out yet, because I'm still writing and still like still editing it actually.
Uh-huh.
I'm already like, dreaming about it becoming a movie, walking the red carpet. It's like there's like already like the planning going on as to what's gonna happen in the future. And I think it's normal. I mean, it's human nature for us to like, think about that process before it even like, fully is finished and ready for it, like, being out in the world.
Yes.
And for you, like, your book is already out and you're working with a publisher. And I think your book, I mean, I read it because, okay, for those of you who do not know this, I actually did a book drive for a school in Botswana, and I had to collect 1,000 books. And Saathya actually helped me collect so many books. I mean, like, she sent me over, like, I think a good 5-6 books. And it was amazing. Thank you so much, by the way.
Oh, you're so welcome. That was such a beautiful, wonderful cause. So happy to help you be a part of that.
Thank you. So back to what I was talking about. I think your book is doing awesome. I read it. It was really cool, very well built, and I think the characters are so like clear and well built that I think that producers, that's actually kind of what they look for. They want it to be something that when you read, you can already imagine in your head, and I think that's what it does. So I honestly feel like your dream of it becoming a movie could be fulfilled. I mean, we don't really know what Hollywood or Bollywood or Tollywood or whatever needs from us as authors, but we do know that if we try and keep trying, because it's your first book. I mean, there are going to be many books under your belt and many books and many trials and errors. You might do this one and figure out, oh, I think I want to add another character who's not like a warrior princess.
Sure.
Maybe she would be a doctor and goes to Yale or Harvard, or like different genres and things. And I think it's just like part of being an author or a writer is experimenting and just trying new things and seeing what sticks.
Absolutely. It is an exciting process, and keeping that dream alive is important. So I appreciate your words.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. I had a great time chatting with you.
Oh, thank you for having me. I appreciate it so much.
Thank you so much. For those of you listening, if you were interested in Saathya's book, I'll be attaching her website in the show notes. Be sure to check that out. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for all of you listening. And I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.